What's going on, guys? Justin Williams here with Access Off Grid, and we are in a continued series called SURTHRIVAL. And in this series, we've been looking at some of the survival basics and how we can begin to thrive in the woods. Today's topic is fire. Everybody loves fire, so stick with me. So one of the most important factors when considering fire is having the right materials. So you're going to need to make sure you have what we call the king fire: tinder, kindling, and fuel. And these cedar trees make up some of the best tinder you can get. Everything from the cedar barks, you can use pine needles, grasses, and several other fibrous materials. But this cedar is one of the best because it makes super fine shavings. And all I'm doing is using the spine of my saw to collect those. You can also use the spine of your knife if your knife is sharp enough. You do want to avoid using your blade though to get these amazing fibers. Kindling is all the little twigs that are between pencil size to finger size, preferably on the pencil size. So all these little twigs like so, especially if you can get them out of the trees, they're going to be drier and more protected because of the above canopies. You need a big handful of these, probably 2 or 3 good sized handfuls. And then you need your fuel. Fuel is going to be anything bigger than your finger sizes. That can be wrist size, forearm, no bigger than your bicep. Otherwise, you're just wasting energy trying to burn fuel. And that's where you can get into some of these smaller, dead standing saplings. Not only do these saplings make excellent fuel, but they're also ideal for bow drill wood. And that's kind of what we're going to be looking at today as well. We're going to be focusing on a couple different fire starting methods, bow drill being one of them. And a big mistake people make when they go out into the woods and look for bow drill material is they don't find adequately dead. You really want to find something that's been dead for about 2 years and preferably still dead standing. All right, so another good way to tell if this tree is old enough is to make sure you look at the tops. If the tops have any type of boughs on it, then it's no good. You got to make sure there are no boughs on the tree whatsoever. And then whenever you get ready to cut into it, then you're going to check the resin content. All right, so if you notice that when I cut this dead standing, that there's less than half. That red right there is going to tell you the resin content. And right now, this is exactly what we're looking for, something with a little less than half the red resin content. All right, so there's several different types of woods you guys can use. It doesn't have to be cedar. I just mention it because it's one of the most abundant growing trees that we have in the wild. It grows all over the country. And so it makes an excellent coal, and it's just an all around great tree. We get our tinder from it, our kindling, and our fuel. And so you can also use trees like cottonwood. One of my favorites is box alder. You can use, there's so many different varieties. You just want to make sure that whenever you touch it and feel it, it feels light, it's dry when you touch it against your face, and you can leave a fingernail indentation into it. After you've carved your kit, you want to make sure that it's about hang 10, a little longer, and make sure that it's straight and the axis points line up. So I usually cut my board to the same length as my spindle, that way they pack together, they're nice and compact. And this kit right here, I went ahead and did a test pass on it to make sure it's going to be a viable kit, and now I want to show you the technique. So once you've planed out your board and got it flat, I like to go, like I said, about thumb thickness, and then I'm going to go in a thumbnail in and create a divot. I'm going to be using a rock for a handhold, but you can use any hardwood. So using a bushcraft style blade, the tip of the blade is a great example of the shape you should cut out of it. We're just going to cut out a little wedge. I usually round it off on the center like this one, but the knife tip should fit comfortably inside of that notch. And we're going to put that right here now. And there we are. just shy of center. Blade fits great. So now that we got our notch cut and our burn end done, we're ready to go for a coal. The biggest mistake people make is they don't breathe for one, and for two, they try to go too hard, too fast. You got to start off slow and get a comfortable rhythm going before you add more pressure and go faster. Wrist goes to shin, elbow outside of knee, and get into a comfortable stance. I usually call it a box stance. Keep the bow parallel to the ground. Once the coal begins to smoke on its own, you're good to go. Once your coal is glowing red, it's ready to go in your tinder bundle. So place the coal in your tinder bundle. Begin to blow it into flame. Just kind of tacoing it in there. Tinder's still damp, so that's why it's smoking so much. It's about to go. So if you've stuck with me this long, I really appreciate your viewership. The last thing I want to challenge you guys to do is always carry at least 3 forms of fire starters into the woods. I always carry a Bic lighter, a ferro rod, and some type of Fresnel lens or other fire starting method. The key to using the ferro rod is you need to have a properly processed tinder bundle. You need to either use one of 2 methods. You either need to use a pull method where you take your striker and pull, or you need to do a plant method where you plant the ferro rod into the material and aggressively and forcefully strike down. The problem most people have is they try using these little bitty strikers. You're much better off using a sharp spined knife. It's going to give you more leverage and more strength to push down to get much hotter sparks. Then we're going to plant the ferro rod into the material we intend to light, and we're going to push down aggressively a couple times. Well guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys staying tuned. I encourage you guys to share, subscribe, and make sure you comment in the comment section below on videos you'd like to see me do in the future. Also, I love your support. You guys can do a couple different things. You can be sure to share our website, accessoffgrid.com. You can help support financially by buying t-shirts. We're selling them right now $20 a piece. We do have select sizes, but I'm going to be ordering more. You can also, once again, if you're needing a Kydex sheath for your knife, we make a lot of custom Kydex and love to have your business, guys. So once again, hope to have you in a class. We're going to be posting our 2019 schedule real soon. So check it out online, accessoffgrid.com.